You're watching 48 Fastcast.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Nolan Crane with your 48 Fastcast. Today, members of law enforcement identified the man injured in an officer-involved shooting in Albertville. Officers arrived to the Gunnersville RV park yesterday to serve an arrest warrant. That's when they were met by 60-year-old Rodney Langley, who they say pulled out a gun. Officers retaliated, shooting Langley. He was injured and flown to the hospital. No one else was injured. WAFF 48's Will Eldridge will have more details on this coming up today at 4. People all around the country are mourning the death of civil rights icon Reverend Jesse Jackson. He died today at the age of 84. Jackson rose to prominence in the 1960s, participating in demonstrations along with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. His work in civil rights helped launch campaigns for the White House back in the 80s. This led to the founding of the Rainbow Push Coalition, a group fighting social justice and civil rights to this day. We will have a deeper look into his life and legacy and local reactions coming up in our evening newscasts.
Well, if it feels like it's been getting colder throughout the day, you're right. The clouds are getting thicker and they're blocking out more sunshine. They're not producing any rain, but don't be surprised if we see drizzle tomorrow, and that's going to coincide with a day kind of like today, a little bit cooler, a little breezy too. Let's take a look at those current temperatures. Temperatures have been falling in Huntsville now in the last hour. It's 65 degrees currently. Looking at 62 in Muscle Shoals and down to 58 in Russellville. Kind of odd to see 58 in Russellville and 70 across the way in Gunnersville. So no rain tonight, 57 degrees for that wind, south wind at 12, and the pollen count is high. We'll be talking about that for the next few days for sure. 64 tomorrow. I've dropped that temperature based on what is happening out there right now. 3-day forecast, 64 tomorrow, then back up to 76 Thursday. The clouds thin out quite a bit more, but still a spotty shower possible. Then scattered showers possible early in the day Friday, and then again Friday night. It gets a little complicated down the road, but it all ends with much colder air coming in as we go through Saturday night into Sunday morning.
An Alabama man is behind bars in connection to a deadly shooting in Giles County, Tennessee from this weekend. Police arrested Aaron Purvis and charged him with murder and attempted murder. Purvis allegedly shot and killed 26-year-old Svensson Simus on I-65. Police say they found multiple guns on him, leading them to believe he was behind the shooting. He was arrested in Franklin County, Tennessee, and is awaiting extradition to Giles County. A Coleman police officer is now on administrative leave after he was arrested for domestic violence. Morgan County Sheriff deputies, they were called to Scenic Drive yesterday, and they arrested Roy Bates for domestic violence. Bates works with the Coleman Police Department as a lake patrol officer. He's in the Morgan County Jail awaiting to be transferred to Coleman County. One North Alabama city is trying to get its own zip code. We'll tell you why when we return. We're covering your community in Priceville, where some residents are struggling to get their mail. It's because the city does not have its own zip code. Some residents often use addresses in Decatur, Hartselle, even Somerville. This leads to the system rejecting orders, seeing the address as invalid. One realtor says only a handful of listings appear for Priceville on Zillow, and that's because the website does not recognize the city.
When everything boomed in Madison a couple years ago, Priceville was kind of overlooked. Like, you still have people wanting to be in Priceville, but a lot of the people that are moving from out of state, they don't even know that it's there. And so I feel like, you know, a lot of people are just missing this wonderful city because they're just not aware of it.
City leaders spent decades trying to bring a new zip code to Priceville. Congressman Del Strong wrote legislation to fix the issue. And that legislation is now on its way to the U.S. Senate for approval.
Now, your first alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis.
Clouds really getting thick out there, and that's why temperatures have been dropping from Huntsville to the west, and they'll likely begin dropping here from Fort Payne to the south as well. And not necessarily a cold front, but just a lot less sunlight than we had yesterday. The coldest air is still locked up here to the north, up just to the north of the Great Lakes right now. That is going to come rushing in here Saturday night into Sunday, so be prepared. We've got some big changes on the way. As far as the clouds go, again, very thick clouds. Might even have a little drizzle out there later this evening. We do anticipate some drizzle tomorrow, and overall it's a really complicated weather pattern here. We've got a major area low pressure parked over northern California, producing tons of snow across the Sierra Nevada and into parts of say Mount Rose or so in and around Reno, Nevada. And then we have a pipeline of moisture that goes all the way out into the Pacific and out towards the Hawaiian Islands. So we're going to be timing these disturbances as they move through, and that's why the rain chances are not as solid as they usually are, and when we're tracking cold fronts, because it's going to be a wave of low pressure along two frontal boundaries, in fact. Here's your planner for tomorrow. I think we're going to have drizzle, a lot like today, but a little bit cooler. We don't reach 70 for the high. We probably stay in the mid-60s. In fact, I've lowered that forecast high to 64. Here's 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, upper 50s, thick cloud cover. We will probably not see the sunshine tomorrow. Whenever you see these patches of green showing up very faint here in the model guidance, usually that means drizzle and low cloudiness, so just be prepared for that. By noon, we're in the low 60s, and we will likely stay there. We may actually get warmer as we go past sunset tomorrow night as we get the approach of the cold front coming in from the west, and eventually brings back that moisture. So Thursday still looks good. I think we still have a shot at 74, but here's your tree pollen forecast. It's not necessarily the trees out in your yard, although some of them are beginning to bud. It's the trees along the Gulf Coast. That south wind carries all that pollen all the way up here. So you may be suffering from the stomach bug going around, the flu, or pollen may be getting you early. 64 tomorrow on your 10-day forecast. We'll go 76 Thursday, 72 Friday, shower chances in the morning and then again late at night. And then Saturday morning, a few showers. And look what happens Sunday into Monday. 45 for the high Sunday, 25. The wind chill will be in the 20s early in the day Sunday. It'll be breezy out there too. It'll be a north wind though. And this will stick around for about 3 days, and then we should start to warm back up as we get into next week.
And that'll do it for today's Fast Cast. We'll be logging back online soon with Before the 4. Then join us on air, WAFF 48, for more of the top stories from North Alabama and beyond. You can watch us at 4, 5, 6, and 10 p.m. Thanks for watching. Have a great Tuesday afternoon.